Yo, what's going on, guys? So, I got a little compulsive because the turbo build wasn't going the way I wanted it to. So, I went and I bought racing seats and harnesses. I bought racing seats and 4-point harnesses, and I'm gonna tell you the truth, I already installed one, and this was the biggest pain in my ass. And honestly, it was very refreshing doing something like this compared to working on the car installing the turbo. And here, I'll show you why. So basically, the way my seat works, it isn't 4 bolts, you know, 2 in the front, 2 in the back. It's just 2 in the back, right? And here are the sliders. This is supposed to hook into, I don't know, some fucking little shit that it has on the bottom on the floor. You hook it in and then you bolt the back. Okay, I can work around that, right? So there I am, I take out the seat and I realize, okay, well, it's as simple as just unbolting the sliders, right? And then first hoop I had to jump through was getting the seats off the sliders. I thought it would be as simple as just unbolting it. No, GM isn't that nice to us. So I realized it's not bolted in. I have to sneeze. Bless me. Anyways, basically what GM did was they put a metal pin and just hammered it in place so it flattened out. And it's not like rivets. These pins are at least 1/4 to 1/2 inch thick. The thickest was 1/2 inch. And I thought, I'll drill it out. Mind you, I have my stepdad has drill bits that are made of cobalt, which is a really dense material, and apparently it can melt through almost anything like fucking butter, except for these freaking pins. So there I am, I'm drilling it, and it's not going in. I'm using a small bit as a pilot hole. It is not going in. And like, I'm basically like putting most of my body weight on it, trying not to break the bit, trying not to break the drill and overheat it, and it's not doing anything. So I'm thinking, okay, I'll cut it. Circular saw, didn't have a cutoff wheel. Alright, I thought, angle grinder, I don't have, I was missing a piece to tighten down the, what's it called? The disc. I didn't have that piece. It's like a little washer that you screw in. I didn't have that, so it wasn't gonna hold. I thought, okay, maybe if it's just sliders, I can slide them out. Right? Right? No, that's not how it works with GM. So basically, there I am, hammering it out, and I think, why isn't it going? And I'm there, I'm scratching my head thinking, what am I gonna do? I have these $300+ seats with the harnesses. I have all the tools here that I need. It's a mess right now, but I have a lot of tools. What can I do? So I think, what can I do? I sit down and I start thinking, well, hammering it out doesn't work. And I look inside and I realize there's a bolt stopping the slider from moving. So I'm like, oh, I didn't see that. I thought it was a pin. I take the bolt out, still not budging. I thought, okay, well, there's nothing in the track. Maybe there's something on the slider. And sure enough, there was 2 little divots on the slider going up at this angle. I thought, shit. So there I am with a fucking metal file, filing them down. And I finally get one off. And luckily, Eric came home and had that little washer ready with him. And we put it on, and I grinded out the other little divots on the other one. And I just pulled them out, right? Okay, it's 1 loop done. Hear me out on this next one. So I think, alright, well, now I just have to put the flat bar, right here, and then the rail for the seat on top, and then the rail for the factory seat down here. Nah, the distance between each rail for my car is 19¼ inch. Okay, what's the distance between the rails on the racing seats? 14 and a quarter inch. So there's a 2.5 difference on each side. So I can't mount it vertically, I'm gonna have to mount it horizontally. So 19 inches times 2, because there's 2 flat bars and I need 2 holes on each bar. 19 times 2 is gonna come out to 30, math, okay, something fucking, I don't know, like 30 fucking 8 or some fucking shit, 38. And, okay, 38 inches, I have 72 inches, so that means I'm gonna have 2 19-inch sections with 2 17-inch sections. So I'm going to be missing a total of 2 inches on those fucking 17-inch things. So that means I need more material for the passenger seat. Great, okay, fine, that's fine, I'll just go buy more flat bar. Mind you, it's not that expensive. It's a quarter of an inch thick. It's pretty thick. Steel flat bar. It's pretty hefty, and it only came out to maybe 16 bucks. That's not bad. That's 72 inches. That's almost as. Never mind. So there I am. I cut it. Mind you, I'm not great at cutting shit. Like fabrication, that's not my thing. I don't know why. I'm always scared of fucking it up to the point where I have to go and waste more fucking money. And that scares the shit out of me, because for one, I'm fucking broke. And two, I hate making mistakes. Considering my past, I make a lot of them. But the point being is I didn't want to fuck it up, but I still went. I did it. I cut the bar, and here I am. I'm like, okay, now oh my God, it was such a pain in the ass because I'm really meticulous about stuff. Like, it has to be near perfect. And so there I am, like, making sure everything's aligned, everything's equal on each side. And it was. So finally, I get those seats mounted. And I swear to God, I almost didn't do it. I almost cut them crooked. And the next thing I know, I'm trying to get the bolt, because I drilled holes down into the slider so I could put a bolt and a nut on the bottom, tighten them, and that'll keep the bar there. So finally, I get it done, I get it bolted in, and the bolts aren't long enough. I'm like, oh shit. So I'm grinding down the slider so I could get maybe another quarter inch of clearance, because that's what I need. So finally I get it and I bolt it on. I'm like, I'm not taking these bolts off again. So I hit him with Loctite. Mind you, that shit dries quick. And I realize, I go and I put it in the car. And apparently, they're not completely symmetrical. They're asymmetrical. One, it's a little further up and one's a little further back. I put them on the wrong side. So there I am. I have to unbolt it. And I put Loctite on the freaking bolts. So there I am. I unbolt it and I turn them around real quick and I switch them and I put them back on. And it wasn't sliding into that little hook. And I thought, fuck, I made them too long. Or I made one too long and one too short. I messed up something. And I'm like, I'm not going to do this again. So I got a mallet to persuade them into place. I just went back, all the way back out. And then, yeah, it just slid in real quick. And I just bolted the seats down. And then with the other frame, that's the one that Eric did. He's the one who welded it. Right there, and then over here. And then this is a flat bar that I was using. I told you it was pretty thick, about a quarter of an inch. Anyways, so here is the passenger side seat. This thing is disgustingly dirty, but the bracket fits. Alright, so here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna get this slider and it mounts right here onto the seat. You can't see it, but the mounting holes are under, right here, where my finger is, under the fabric, and then another one right here on all 4 sides. So I'm gonna cut out little holes. Then they give you hardware. Here it is. So I'll put those in there, and then once the sliders are in, I then go and I put it on the bracket that's in the car, and I measure out the distance from the door into the center console, make sure it's even, drill it out, put the bolts, and that's basically it. Alright, so the sliders are on. The thing that you use to slide is on. It's all scraped up, I don't know why. But next we're gonna put this on the bracket, and then we're gonna mark up where we're gonna drill. So now it's just a matter of lining up those holes, making sure each side is equal, Jesus. And then drilling the holes, and I have some bolts, and I'll just bolt it in. Put some Loctite on the bolts so we don't go flying around. Got the holes marked. So about 90% of the time, I never know what size bolt I need. I just know, like, hey, like, hey, I need, this type of bolt, right? But I never know exactly, like, what size. So I always just do this. I always take out one that looks the same and put it in the hole. And it seems to fit. Perfect. Now all we have to do is do it to the other side. Alright, I got everything bolted in. They're all bolted in. They all got Loctite on them. And they all slide. It's hard to do with one hand. But yeah. I honestly preferred having one. I think it looks super cool. Anyways, I'm not gonna put the harness on today. I'll put it on another day, probably off video. But for right now, this seat is on. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a good day. Don't forget to like and subscribe.